This is Politics as Usual, and we are at the SM Aura Samsung Hall here in Taguig. I'm Pia Ontiveros. In this special episode, we speak to three mayors, all of them first-timers here in Metro Manila. Mayor Francis Zamora of the city of San Juan. Thank you for being here, Mayor Francis. Your supporters can cheer for you if they would like. Ayun, nako. Nagparamdam ang San Juan. And thank you din, nakarating kayo. Salamat. And Mayor Lino Cayetano of the city of Taguig. Wow, palakas ng palakas. Yung kay Yorme kaya. Mayor Isko Moreno of the city of Manila. Wow. Ang dami mong fans. Okay. Parang ang saya-saya ng inyong first 100 days. Everybody seems so happy. But let's get down to business and let's talk about what happened in the first 100 days. Among the things that you have all done is to clear the roads in your cities of obstruction, and rightly so. We do have a problem because we think that we can appropriate or occupy and use the roads when and how we want to, dahil ang problema nga dito dahil kailangan talaga may madaanan ng tao. And I think that is why you feel very strong about it. Mayor Isko, you said that you will continue beyond the 60-day deadline, no? But you did this in your first week. You literally hit the ground running, the streets running, because there was, like you said, there was chaos. Now, what was it like when you started to clear the roads? Mahirap bang pakiusapan ng tao? Mahirap ba silang sabihan na, pwede ba kayo dito sa daan?
Well, sa umpisa, feeling namin hindi makikinig. Pero nung diniplomasya namin, na sabi ko, napapanahon na total, napakinabangan nyo na mahabang panahon. For 2 decades, no, I think it's time na maibalik na sa tao yung kalsada. Then, in 48 hours, our 2-decade problem was gone. I mean, like, isang araw, nagising na lang yung mga taga-Maynila.
Aba, may kalsada pala.
Yun ang naging reaction ng mga tao. Not only maybe in mga taga-Maynila, yung mga nagpupunta ng Divisoria.
Oo. Madalas ako mag-Divisoria. Walang daan doon.
Yun.
Biglang meron.
Opo.
Ano yung
Yung EDSA pala ang Divisoria.
Oo nga. Ano yung diplomasya? What did you use? Your charm?
Hindi naman. Como kasi marami doon, hindi naman talaga taga sa amin. In fact, hinikayat sila ng mga organizer because the government at that time is encouraging them to appropriate these streets, major thoroughfare, Juan Luna and Recto, para, for some reason, so many million reasons that they have, sabi ko, teka muna, kako, hindi po pwede. Ngayon, kung gusto nyong ituloy, basta ipakikita namin sa inyo, may bago ng pamahalaan ng lungsod ng Maynila.
Okay. So kung hindi charm ang ginamit mo, diplomasya, anong ginamit? Ngiti? Or yung nagpakita kayo na seryoso kayo? Hindi ako showbiz dito. Sumunod kayo. Ganon.
Kasi mix yun, no? Yung mga taga roon knows me very well because I've been in the government city government of Manila for 18 years. Marami doon, kababata ko, o kakilala ko, kapitbahay ko. At nung araw, alam
may
nila...
respeto sila sa'yo. Kasi sumunod no?
Sa awa naman ng Diyos, salamat sa kanila.
Masyado kang pa-humble
Basta sa amin, yun nga sinabi ko, sabi ko, ipagtanong nyo na lang ako. Sabi ko doon sa iba, yung mga dayo. Ipagtanong ninyo ako sa katabing tindahan ninyo. Yung sinasabi ko. So you don't push us to the wall. Because, basic law. Sabi ng Supreme Court, roads, alleys, boulevards are beyond the commerce of men. And I think, if we, all of us, keep on planning for 10-year, 15-year, 5-year program, development, vertical development, and so on and so forth, how can we do that if we are not going to do the basic?
Right, right.
Diba? Yung, kumbaga, ito lang hindi namin magawa. Mangangako pa ako ng maunlad na
Exactly.
So,
Okay, well, let's
awa
check
naman
out.
ng Diyos, nakinig silang lahat.
Parang nakinig din ata sila kay Mayor Francis. Ano? Mayor Francis, in the city of San Juan, is that correct? 100% compliance according to a reported DILG validation.
Yes, actually, last week, the DALG team of Mandaluyong that was assigned to evaluate San Juan was there the whole day. They went around all our major streets. And during that afternoon, there was an evaluation in my office. And after this, the DALG team scored a perfect 100% for the city of San Juan.
Wow.
In terms of... In
That
terms of
is-
compliance.
Yeah, that is amazing because my son's school is in San Juan on a small street, and it is always clogged with vehicles. And ever since you decided that you're going to implement the law, wala na. Kasi ang sabi nila, estricto na kasi si Mayor ngayon. Ganon. But wait a minute, pati sa Lasal Green Hills, di ba yung sa Ortigas, di ba paradahan yon yung Ortigas sa harap ng Lasal? Wala nang sasakyan doon?
Ito ang gusto ko sabihin sa lahat. Ang Lasal Green Hills ay hindi San Juan.
Ah, I'm sorry. O nga pala, Quezon City. Sorry, sorry.
Mandaluyong
Malapit
po
kasi.
siya,
Oo,
yes.
sorry. Okay.
No, madalas ako
Yeah.
natatanong
Pero
tungkol
wait
sa
a
Lasal
minute.
Green
Baka
Hills.
you can do something about...
Oh,
you
it's
can do
not within our jurisdiction, so technically we cannot
Okay,
do
sorry,
anything about
sorry.
it. No, it's okay. But if I may share, when Memorandum Circular 121 was given to us, to all the mayors in the entire Philippines, I took it as a challenge to implement the road clearing directives of the President himself and of the ALG. Because I, having lived in San Juan all my life, for the past 41 years, I was born in Cardinal Santos Medical Center. So every single day of my life, I've lived in San Juan. Naranasan ko kung gaano ka-traffic sa amin. Kasi maliit lang ang San Juan. We're only 5.94
Yeah,
square kilometers. Makikitid na kami mga kalye. Most of our streets are really very narrow.
Pero
And
iba-
they used to allow street parking in the narrow roads. The previous administration allowed for street parking. In fact, they were collecting money for people who would pay on the streets. So when the Memorandum Circular 121 was issued, I suspended all the pay parking on the streets, especially around the Greener Shopping Center. And this has allowed for better traffic flow in our city. And I would like to thank our barangay captains, all 21 of them, because they helped me implement MC 121. And they're here today. So I would like to thank them.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to them. And sana hindi lang hanggang last week. Dapat everyday yan, ano?
Yes, no. Pinakita natin na sa unang 60 days, kaya. So the challenge now here is the sustainability of our efforts.
Yeah.
And this is something that we will do. In fact, if you go to Xavier and Ika, which are our two major schools that are really affected by traffic, because I suspended the pay parking on the streets around Ika and Xavier, now it takes you just a few minutes to circumvent the entire area of these two schools. As opposed to before, when the previous local government allowed parking, it would take you a good 45 minutes to 1
Right.
hour just to make one loop.
Right. Oo.
And because Ika and Xavier are now decongested, the result is Ortigas Avenue is also decongested. And it follows now to all mabuhay lanes, primary, secondary, and tertiary roads.
Right. Oh, and of course, that's a huge waste of time. And well, the sad thing here is that it required, like for example, President Duterte to say, clear the roads of all obstruction. And obstruction hindi lang sasakyan, pati mga, structure, etc. Hindi ba? Mayor Lino, did you have the same magnitude of problems when it came to clearing the roads here in Taguig?
I think, unang-una, babati lang ako sa Vice Mayor ko, si Vice Mayor Ading
okay.
Cruz, at ang aking
Hello,
City
sir.
Council.
The entire city council
Pero
is here.
sesegue na rin ako dahil
Oo.
Vice Mayor Ading this is his third term. And iba yung sitwasyon ng bawat syudad. In Taguig, the situation is, iba yung problema namin. We don't have as much problems pagdating dun sa obstructions on the road. So I think yan yung challenge ng individual mayors. Ang problema ng Maynila, iba sa problema ng San Juan, iba sa problema ng Taguig. So sa amin, wala man mga obstruction sa kalye, nagiging hadlang naman yung pagkawala ng sidewalk. Pag wala kasing sidewalk, ang tao naglalakad sa kalye.
Right.
Pag naglalakad sa kalye, tumitigil ang mga sasakyan. So with us, our efforts when it comes to clearing No, we summarized into an executive order called the Mobility EO. So sa Taguig ho, napapaikot yung kautusan ng Pangulo dun sa isang executive order that deals with mobility in the city, safer and faster mobility for pedestrians and for vehicles. So yung sa amin ho, hindi lang sa kalye na masyado nagfo-focus. But right now, it is on the sidewalks.
In other words, this is like reconfiguring, reimagining the city. Yung mga sidewalks na yon, they exist and then meron lang mga structures on the sidewalks or wala talagang sidewalk?
Yan ang what we're doing now is we indicated areas in the city. Example ho, sa aming Taguig City University, kailangan ng mga estudyante dyan nakakapaglakad papunta sa aming lakeshore development, which is like an outdoor park. So tinetrace ho namin, dapat ang isang estudyante makakalakad from point A to point B na hindi tumutungtong sa kalye. So yan yung challenge. May ibang areas na may sidewalk, may ibang areas na yung sidewalk sinakop na ng isang pribadong individual o isang negosyo. So yan yung challenges ho natin. Different areas, different barangays poses different challenges, but all our barangay captains or most of them are also here and I'd like to thank them. Mahirap ho yung trabaho dahil yung syudad ho, minsan nandyan kami ngayon, bukas na sa ibang lugar kami. Pero yung mga problema, araw-araw, lumalapit ho sa mga kapitan o sa mga kagawad. So it's really something na one mayor cannot do. It's something that we need the
It's a
city
team
council,
effort, ano?
we need the barangay captains, we need the kagawads. Kahit kami ho, Metro Manila is one big mega city. Kahit ayusin ho natin ang isang syudad, hindi ho mag-i-improve kung kami hindi magtutulungan. Ang
Right.
problema sa San Juan, ang basura sa San Juan, problema rin sa
Right.
Taguig.
Oh, babalik
ang
tayo
kriminal
doon.
sa Taguig,
Oo.
problema rin sa
Babalik tayo doon.
Maynila.
Traffic, garbage, floods. Later on,
Yung basura nilang dalawa sa amin.
doon na pupunta sa inyo. Okay, naubos ang oras sa isang malaking problema
namin
pa lang.
sinasadya dahil sa
hindi
Dahil sa
niyo
agos ng
sinadya.
tubig, ang Laguna Bay
Agos
kasi,
ng tubig.
ang Laguna Bay dumadaan papuntang Maricaban Creek,
Exactly,
papunta palabas
oo.
dyan sa Manila Bay.
Oo,
So,
oo.
sa
Hindi
ayaw
naman-
at sa gusto namin,
Oo, hindi
doon talaga ang daloy.
oo. Hindi naman dinadump ni Mayor Lino sa inyo, Mayor Isko. But anyway, when we come back, we need to talk about yung utang. Yung baon daw kayo sa utang no? Manila. Teka muna, wait. Magbe-break muna kami. Mayor Isko, sandali lang. We're gonna have to take a very quick break. This is Politics as usual. I'll be right back. Welcome back to this special edition of Politics as Usual. Mayor Isko Moreno, Mayor Lino Cayetano, and Mayor Francis Zamora are with us today. Kanina po, sinabi ko na yung problema ninyo sa utang, Mayor Isko, 4.4 billion daw. And Mayor Francis, 1.2 billion pesos. Mayor Lino, siguro wala naman kayong problema doon kasi parang kilala nyo naman yung dating mayor.
When Mayor Lani took over, meron siyang mahigit 1 billion, may namana siyang mahigit 1 billion na utang. But over the last 7 years, Mayor Lani and the City Council fully paid. So Taguig City is debt-free right now. So ang masasabi ko lang, kaya nyo yan.
Kaya nyo yan.
Kaya.
So
Tulungan
let's
lang.
let's move on na.
Pero mahirap kumilos ng may malaking utang.
Oo
Alam mo
naman,
nila
oo
yan.
naman. Pero interesting that you've said that you will pay those loans. You had said that already. But anyway, I wanted to go into more detail doon. Kaya lang medyo ubus na tayo sa oras. Parang pera lang minsan nauubos. So let's go first to, Mayor Isko, I wanted to ask about, kanina nabanggit yun the Pearl of the Orient, Paris of the Orient. All these grand plans that you have for Manila to bring it back to its old glory. So you're talking about the Metropolitan Theater, Arroceros, and many other important landmarks in the city of Manila. You want to bring back the old glory of Manila. Are you going to do that within your term, your first term as mayor?
Best effort. Ipinagpapasalamat ko sa national government in the likes of Secretary Berna ng DOT na napunta sila ngayon sa Maynila, kay Secretary Villar, napunta sila ngayon sa Maynila, kay Secretary Simato, napunta sila ngayon sa Maynila. Kahapon, we visited Metropolitan Theater. A lot of groups are, asking me what will happen to Metropolitan Theater. I think yesterday, nabigyan na ng tuldok ang Metropolitan Theater na alam na nila na hindi amin yung Metropolitan Theater. But the national government, for that matter, through DOT and NCCA, nire-redevelop. O kami naman, ito yung national, yung labas noon, lokal. Siya naman naming palalawakin yung Arroceros Park, bibigyan ko ng parking lot yung Metropolitan Theater dahil niyayaya kayo in advance na manood sa next year. Dahil bukas na po ang Metropolitan Theater, magpapalabas na po sila. Sabi po ng NCA. Para naman di kayo mahirapan, dahil ang Lotono, walang espasyo, we will provide enough dedicated parking space for our visitors who's going to visit and watch Metropolitan Theater.
Okay.
And, ang swerte lang namin ngayon, when we came up with an idea of reintegrating City of Manila to the national government, para bang pag tinignan mo yung statement, bakit? May Republic of Manila ba? Well, that thing happened. Hindi technical, but leaders of Manila, for that matter, laging,
Sino yun?
Hindi, yung,
Wala ka namang pinaparinggan.
hindi, yung bang yung, naging siga kami,
Aha, okay.
naging mayabang kaming syudad,
Aha.
na punong-puno kami ng kayabangan sa katawan.
Okay. At
Na to the
kailangan...
point na tinaboy na hindi na kami pinansin ng national government.
Okay.
The national government don't want to deal with Manila.
Yeah.
Kasi
But,
masyado
okay, and
kami
your
may
point
attitude.
is now the national
when we
government
came up with
deals
that
with
concept,
Manila.
alika na, makikipag-ugnayan kami sa
Okay.
inyo. Ang dami namin ngayon nakukuha ang resources.
Aha.
Ang daming nire-reintroduce ngayon. That's nire-redirect ngayon yung mga resources ng national governments towards Manila. The same thing with the business sector. When we started talking to them, nag-marketing rally kami for the past 1 month, talking to Konglo.
Kaliwat kanan na nga yung mga invitations mo. Baka it has something to do with the mayor. Kaya, but wala. Di ba, na? Mayor Francis, I wanted to go briefly first to you. You promised during the campaign you would have this high-rise in-city housing for informal settlers, no? And I understand nagkaroon na kayo ng groundbreaking. When will construction begin?
No, ipinagmamalaki kong sabihin ng kauna-unahang high-rise in-city socialized public housing sa Pilipinas ay sinisimula na sa lungsod ng San Juan. This is a 22-story condominium na pabahay, and this is with the National Housing Authority. Nag-groundbreaking na kami 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So when will construction begin?
It will begin already by end of the year. And we are
okay.
targeting to finish first quarter of 2022. This can provide for 396 units with an average of 29 square meters per unit with 10 commercial spaces in the lower levels.
So how many people can live there?
So 396 families, more or less multiplied by 4 or 5.
Pero hindi dadami yung informal settlers dahil meron na kayong gano'n, ano?
No, ibig sabihin,
hindi na kayo tatanggap ng informal settler.
No, ibig
Hindi na,
sabihin, yung kasalukuyang mga informal settlers natin sa barangay, hindi na kailangan lumipat sa malalayong lugar gaya ng Bulacan at Rizal na yun ang pangkaraniwang ginagawa ng nakarang administrasyon. So dito na mismo sa lungsod ng San Juan, hindi sila malalayo sa kanilang mga trabaho, sa kanilang paaralan, sa kanilang pamilya. In city siya, so yung mga informal settlers natin sa iba't ibang barangay who would like to avail, can avail of the housing units in San Juan, and after amortization, for a period of 25 years, sila magiging may-ari ng mga unit na ito.
Okay, that's great. That's very good to know. Of course, apart from the housing for the disadvantaged sectors, another very clear issue for all the cities here in Metro Manila, yung open spaces, public parks and open spaces. And this is something also that Taguig is looking into very well. Hindi ba, Mayor Lino?
I think isa sa prioridad. In fact, the City Council and I signed parang a covenant para ma-prioritize namin yung pagkakaroon ng open space. Dahil maraming debate ho yan eh. There's always going to be a debate what to do with open space. Pwede gawing mall, pwede gawing ospital, pwede gawing basketball court. Regardless of what it is, ang importante dyan, nagkakasundo yung community that common space is important para napapakinabangan ng lahat. Kasama ho yun sa napag-usapan natin kanina backstage, yung tungkol sa disiplina. I think kung nagkakasundo yung buong komunidad that common space is important para mas nakikinabang yung mas nakararami, I think our city, Metro Manila, will be even be more special and more beautiful when we have more open space. So in Taguig, we're prioritizing parks, but we're also focusing on making the parks really usable space. So we have Wi-Fi in 107 community spaces around the city of
O
Taguig.
parang San Juan din, ano?
Yes.
Okay.
So in fact ngayon, if you open your phones, kung gusto nyo mag-connect, pwede nyo buksan ng phone nyo, lagay nyo sa settings, City of Taguig, Wi-Fi, automatic, lalabas na rin doon yung 10-point agenda ng City of Taguig.
okay.
So we're working on that, but also for open space and parks and basketball courts to be an area where really people can congregate.
Yeah. Do you have details for the open spaces, or that's still on the drawing boards?
No, we do.
Yeah.
We
Very quickly, can you list it, rattle them off?
Unang-una ho dyan is yung currently, yung mga basketball court. And I read also Mayor Isko has plans. Yung basketball court ho natin ngayon, pangkaraniwan napapakinabangan ng basketball players lang. So kami in Taguig, nagkasundo ho kami, we'll convert all our basketball courts into community centers. So magkakaroon ng space, magkakaroon ng schedule. Ibig sabihin, hindi lang siya infrastruktura, may nakakonekta na programa. Sa umaga, pwedeng may magtuturo ng gardening, sa hapon, martial arts, sa tanghali, may basketball, may volleyball. They become real community centers. So that's something that infrastructure alone cannot do.
Okay.
Kailangan may programa yung komunidad, may programa yung gobyerno.
Are you able to do this, Mayor Lino? Because, and correct me if I'm wrong, that 80% of the gigs revenues come from Fort Bonifacio. That's about like 50 billion. And that's why you can do all of this for Taguig?
Partly, but Fort Bonifacio, welcome to Taguig, by the way. Nandito tayo sa lungsod ng Taguig.
Yes, I said
Welcome, Mayor.
Taguig.
Welcome. But ang Fort Bonifacio is one very important part of the city of Taguig. But it is one of 28 barangays. Ang Arca South, ang dating FTI, is also a huge area of future development. And our Laguna Lakeshore, where the President built one of his flagship projects, yung C6.
Yes,
it's
you just
the
opened
only,
it November 2018.
Yes, it's the only highway with a dedicated bike lane. May bike lane ho, may island that separates the bike lane. So with BGC, Fort Bonifacio, Arca South, and Laguna Lakeshore, we believe development will be sprawling across the city.
Yeah, okay.
Right now, nakasentro sa BGC, nandito ang stock market, lilipat dito ang Senado, lilipat dito ang Korte Suprema. So it is like the central business district.
yeah.
But part of the challenge is bringing economic development to all barangays in our city.
Because what you want to happen is that hindi yung there are two Taguigs, there is only really just one Taguig,
Yes.
right? Okay. Kanina nabanggit na rin yung Wi-Fi in public spaces, and this is something that San Juan is offering. Plus you have that electronic kiosk, right? That you're going to be offering so that people don't have to go to City Hall to transact business with City Hall. Mayor
Yes,
Francis.
we signed the memorandum of agreement with the DICT, with Secretary Gringo Honasan. San Juan was chosen as the pilot city for their free Wi-Fi for all program. So again, another first in the Philippines, the DICT will provide for free Wi-Fi for all public places in the city of San Juan. I'm talking about barangay halls, barangay
Okay.
basketball courts, multipurpose halls, public schools, police community precincts, our market, our hospital, our Pinaglabanan Shrine, our city hall. So we've already designated the areas for the access points for this. And DICT will be providing the internet using the fiber of San Juan. And by 2020, these areas will already be operational.
Yeah.
And regarding the electronic kiosks, we already had an agreement with the Multisys Technological Corporation. They are developing these e-kiosks wherein we will set this up in all barangay halls and City Hall. People will not have to go to City Hall anymore because they can transact in their own barangays. Pwede sila magbayad ng tubig, ng kuryente, ng cable TV, ng iba't ibang klaseng bayarin doon na mismo sa kiosk na yon. And eventually, whatever you can do in these kiosks, you can do in the San Juan City application. So sa telepono ka na magta-transact with the local government.
You know, there's so much happening in the cities of these three gentlemen mayors here today with us. It's so difficult to squeeze everything in. Kanina nabanggit yung in-city housing. There's something like that also in Manila. Then you'll have that special project in Loton. Pero yun nga, no, medyo kulang tayo sa oras. But it's just amazing because I've been a journalist for 30 years. I don't remember na ganito in the first 100 days of any mayor in a city here in Metro Manila na ganito nangyari. But we'll talk more about this. We'll be right back. Politics as usual. Just need to take a quick break. Welcome back to Politics as Usual. Still with us, si Yorme, Mayor Isko Moreno, si Super Mayor, Mayor Francis Zamora, and tinatanong ko kay Mayor Lino anong tawag sa'yo? Sabi niya, direct na lang daw. Wait, Taguig, mag-isip kayo ng title para kay Mayor Lino Hindi pwedeng ganun lang. Meron ba? Siyempre, hindi ko narinig. What did they say? Level up. Okay, sige. All right. There are many problems when it comes to transport. And it all boils down to the fact that Metro Manila does not have an efficient and reliable mass transit system. And what has happened in the last week alone, the LRT2 fire, MRT breakdown, we all just accept as the new normal. As mayors of the three cities, Mayor Isko, Mayor Lino, and Mayor Francis, is there anything you can do? That is the first question, and keep your answer very brief, one sentence only, direct to the point. And would you agree that this is already a mass transport crisis? Second question, yes or no lang ang sagot. Very brief answer. Mayor Isko, is there anything you can do?
Discipline.
Okay, and would you agree this is a mass transport crisis?
Yes, it is. And it's been ongoing and will keep on hunting us until we integrate Metro Manila's local government unit with regard to creating mass transit. Kasi nangyari, piecemeal Titira ng Fairview. Titira ng EDSA. Ngayon, hindi, I'm just, real talk tayo. Now, gagawa kayo ng subway hanggang dito lang sa Taguig. Then pag-akyat mo ngayon ng halimbawa Taguig o Makati, sakay ka ulit. O doon ka na naman sa Loton, babagsak, traffic na naman. So it has to be
integrated.
Integrated. This kind of mass transit must be a mega metropolis mass transit na nag-uusap. Kasi bakit? Ugaling-ugali natin bilang Estado, mag-aaproban ng kontrata, ito Corporation A, ito Corporation B. Tapos magkaaway, hindi magduduktungan.
Okay.
Unlike any other cities, common sense, there is also different corporation, A, B, C, pero lahat sila integrated ang linya nila.
Okay.
Walang nagsasapawan, walang nag-aagawan because they serve one customer. Ito, feeder line, ito main line. So it has, I hope that someday, somehow, kasi this is now national, no? Let's be honest. Any local government unit here cannot just build their own transport. We have to go in line with what is planned for Metro Manila. Now, having said that, we as local government unit, that's why I call discipline, the easiest way to do it is, space occupied by matter is lesser space until you create another space available. Now, for the meantime, waiting this integration, hoping for integration of mass transit, we in the local government unit also can work hand in hand. If there is, for example, truck ban here, there should be truck ban there. There should be truck ban here.
Well,
if there is color coding here, it has to be color coding in Metro Manila. One policy among each other na nag-uusap in harmony.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Yorme. That's a very good point. Na hindi pwedeng kanya-kanya, no? Para bang may 16 kingdom sa Metro Manila. Talagang kailangan magsama.
Yes, but Larissa, don't get me wrong. I have high respect with my colleagues. They have their own problems, but there are common problems. And that is a biggest problem of Metropolis. Kaya dapat talaga
Babalik tayo doon, Yorme. Sige,
sorry.
thank you. Kaya pala, you're so popular. Okay, si Mayor Lino.
I agree with Yorme. Sa Taguig ang sinasabi nga namin, ang disiplina ay pagmamahal sa kapwa. So may sakripisyo talaga. I agree.
You used the term earlier, pagmamalasakit.
Yes. Dahil when we rationalize transportation, pagra-rationalize sa transportasyon, ibig sabihin, we need that in Metro Manila. Kailangan ho tingnan natin, ilang bus ba talaga ang kailangan natin? Ilang jeep ba talaga ang kailangan natin? That is something the LTFRB should be doing. Dahil lahat kami kumukonekta sa South Superhighway, sa C5, sa C6, sa EDSA. Ngunit kami rin sa pamahalang lokal, we also need to do that. We need to rationalize how many todas do we need? How many jodas? Ilang tricycle? Ilang jeepney? Ang mga mawawalan ho ng trabaho, kailangan nating hanapan ng trabaho.
Right.
So meron ding kakibat na sakripisyo, but we need to be bold. We need to be ready that there will be changes. So I think we need bold steps in the city and in Metro Manila and in
I
working
think
together.
you can take those bold steps. I mean, you guys have done so much already in the first 100 days. Mayor Francis, what is your response to this question?
No, we really need cooperation if we're going to solve this problem. Like what Mayor Isko said, no? We are all part of the Metro Manila Council. And I know and I believe that this batch of 2019 to 2022, marami sa amin first term, mga bata, kumbaga iba yung pananaw sa paglilingkod. At nakikita ko magandang panahon at pagkakataon ito. Habang fresh pa yung ideas,
Right.
we have to really integrate all our plans and programs. We cannot plan something for just
San
our
Juan
own
alone.
cities. We have to integrate everything since Metro Manila is a mega city. The planning should be among all 17 local government units.
Yeah, okay. And of course, your plans, your solutions for the traffic and the transport problem, that also applies to garbage and flooding. And I'm glad you brought out the Metro Manila Council and that how you all work together because yung mga problema na to, di ba? Traffic, garbage, flooding, basura, flooding, these problems and their solutions, they are not unique to any of the cities. Ano? They are like you were saying earlier, they are shared problems. Yung basura na galing San Juan at Taguig, dun talaga napupunta sa Manila kasi sa Manila Bay talaga lalabas. Tapos, so para bang they transcend or cross borders, hindi ba? Pero, ang kwan dito yung isang tanong kasi is, yung Metro Manila Council ba, is that enough? Diba? Or should we have a Metro Manila Authority or Metro Manila Commission ng parang may regional governor? Panon to ng Marcos Nung sinipa si Marcos noong 86, pati yung idea na yun sinipa kasi associated with Marcos. But some people, Paulo Alcasarin, a noted urban planner and architect, has said that that would be a really good idea because you cannot have individual kingdoms, Diba? Is that something that can be done, or do you just all coordinate as mayors of 15, 16 cities? Mayor Lino, ano kaya?
Ako, sa experience ko, iba-iba kami sigurong pananaw. Pero napakalaking bagay sa akin na ang aking mga barangay captains, our barangay captains are empowered, have autonomy, but at the same time, sumusunod ho sa direksyon ng kanilang mayor. So para sa akin kung kami sa Metro Manila, we have one central governing body. I think we will comply. I think we will follow. Ngayon, the city of Taguig gives around 400 million a year to MMDA. Palagay ko porsyento kasi yan. So palagay ko halos 1 billion ang binibigay ng Maynila. Obligasyon yan. Sa ayaw at sa gusto ko, maganda man o hindi ang pagpapatakbo ng MMDA, Taguig City gives 400 to 500 million. So kung sa gastos, gumagastos kami. So I think a central body and closer coordination is really helpful. Pero ngayon maganda dahil sa ilalim ng ating Pangulo, nakikinig lahat Pero there are still areas where I think it can be better. But I think when you have strong leadership, nakikinig ang mga nasa baba.
Okay, Yorme, 10 seconds lang
Okay, hindi. No.
10.
No, you asked about Metro Manila's authority, no? Ako, I for one, gusto ko yung Metro Manila Authority should be an elected official. We should elect a Metro Manila leader.
Metro Manila Governor, parang ganun.
Whether we call it governor, it has to be
Whatever.
elected. Why? Kasi pagka nagpasya yung Metro Manila Council as elected officials, walang magagawa yung Manila pag ayaw ng Maynila. Walang magagawa yung Makati pag ayaw ng Makati. Kasi kailangan sundin dahil sila'y may governing mandated individual by the people.
Agree. Okay.
Kaya yun yung tingin ko, para magkaroon ng konting ipin, for example, tingnan mo ngayon, hindi pa rin natin masara yung mga bus, ano tawag yan?
Terminal.
Bus terminal sa EDSA. Why? kasi sa haba ng kilometer 54 ba tawag nyo doon?
Pero hindi siya 54 kilometers.
Oh, yeah.
Oo.
Ha?
Hindi daw siya 54.
Basta yung lumang panahon yata, yun ang tawag doon eh. Oo. Hindi kasi ako taga-EDSA, taga-Tondo ko eh. But the thing is, composed of different cities. Iba ang interest, which I respect, interest ng San Juan, iba ang interest ng Taguig,
Pero
ibang
Yorme, your point is...
parokyal ang
Oo.
dating.
Pero Yorme, your point nga is dapat isang parang elected official who will, para siya yung susundan, di ba? Yun.
Most
Yes.
likely, dapat magkaganoon
Yes,
na
okay,
para
okay.
may utang sa tao.
Oo.
Hindi utang sa appointee. Utang
Right.
sa taong bayan. May
Right.
pananagutan sa taong bayan sa Metro Manila yung namumuno
Okay.
sa Metro Manila. I have
Okay.
nothing against with those appointed now.
Yeah.
This is now future tense. Kung sakasakali pagdating ng araw.
Okay. We have a question. Dapat we need to go to a break, but I will ask the question first, then have Mayor Lino answer this afterwards. Someone sent me this question for you, Mayor Lino, and I will quote, "Many more buildings will be built in BGC over the next 5 years, which means more workers and residents. How do you plan to improve traffic and roads in BGC? Is there a ban on noise and air polluting jeepneys that ply Lawton, McKinley, and Market as this drives down overall livability and property prices?" You're going to take that question and answer that question, Mayor Lino, when we come back from the break. This is Politics as Usual. Be right back. Welcome back to Politics as Usual. We had that hanging question for Mayor Lino Cayetano. Mayor Direk Lino. Go ahead.
Yes, so ang maikling sagot ko sa tanong mo, yes. Challenge yan ng urbanization. Lahat tayo, kami ho, ang Taguig, isang simpleng munisipyo lang noong araw, parte ng probinsya ng Rizal. Hanggang ngayon ho, ang tawag pa rin sa amin, probinsyudad. May lugar ho kami, meron pa kaming mga palayan, meron pa kaming mga palaisdaan, pero meron din kaming mga napakalaking mga gusali. Challenge of all highly urbanized cities is really to deal with the challenges of urbanization, traffic, noise, pollution. Kaya ho, kami, we try to be aggressive. And the best you can do there is really to be able to have discipline, to be able to have a plan, and to be able to stick to the plan. So kanina nabanggit nga yung aming 10-point agenda. Kaya namin paulit-ulit na pinapaliwanag yung 10-point agenda dahil gusto ko ho, accountable tayo lahat. Hindi lang ho yung pamahalang lungsod, hindi lang yung mga nasa gobyerno. When all our citizens, pag lahat ho ng Taguigenyo, nagbabantay, pag malinaw sa kanila yung direksyon, I think if we all make sacrifices, we can all make Taguig a better place. But to answer your question, yes, we're ready to face the challenges of urbanization.
The three of you have repeatedly said the whole time, backstage and here during the show, you mentioned the terms again and again, discipline, following the rules, malasakit sa kapwa-tao. This is basically parang the pinaka-core ng inyong, your being mayor. Mayor Isko, you've already announced that you are thinking of banning the sale of second-hand phones, in, for example, is it Isitan or some stores, Now, merong mga nagre-react napaka-anti-poor gano'n. Pero, ang punto nyo, it is a crime to sell stolen second-hand phones. So if you say, I will ban the sale of stolen second-hand phones, mas matatanggap ba yun ng tao?
Well, unang-una, hindi po pwedeng maging anti-poor yun. Bumibili nga ng second-hand phone, mahirap. Dahil kung mayaman yun, di yung bibili ng second-hand phone. But the problem is, kaya nanganganib ang mga anak ninyo habang naglalakad sa eskwelahan, mapagabi, tanghali, araw, dala nitong mga walang yang tolongges na ito, aabangan yung anak ninyo, tututukan ng 3 kantos, malalagay sa panganib, dahil yung ninakaw niyang cellphone sa anak ninyo ay ititinda sa legitimate store. Legitimate in such a way, it is in the mall. You can see it there. Now, if I may ask you, ito isang phone, ito isang phone. Alin dyan ang illegitimate o illegal at saka legal? You cannot distinguish. Now, that I, for one, I cannot wait for a time that another case that a student, senior citizen, kinakaladkad sa jeep. Nakita nyo naman yung video na yun, di ba? Sa Top Avenue yun. Kinakaladkad, kinukuha yung cellphone, sinasaksak yung estudyante. I cannot wait for that situation again. It has to stop now.
And one
Hindi
way
ko
to
na-
stop it is to
the
cut the supply.
opportunity for somebody to enrich himself by, one way or another, encouraging this unscrupulous individual, benta nyo sa akin yung cellphone nakukuha ninyo. And I think it's high time for us. Tingnan po ninyo ha, mga kababayan. Total na itanong na rin lang naman. Naghigpit kami kahapon. Nagsiyasat kami. Only to find out, or at least dito ko nasasabihin, only to find out yung malaking mall na yon, walang permit. The mall. Not only the store. See, this is how bad Manila, this is our situation. We really have to address these things. And remember, kami ang host ninyo. Yung mga anak ninyo pupunta sa Manila para mag-aral. Ano namang kapanatagan na mabibigay namin sa inyo na kung kami mismo sa syudad namin will just ikikipit balikat na lang ba namin? No.
Okay.
I think it has to stop. So, sometimes, pag makikita nyo medyo borderline yung polisiya ni Mayor, because we were pushed to that wall. So we have
But yung
to
being
define.
pushed to the wall, Mayor, you are just enforcing the law.
Yes.
It is a crime to sell stolen goods. It is
Exactly.
also a crime to operate if you have
Under
no permit.
existing
hindi ba?
laws, anti-fencing, but these people have so many excuses. And they know how to circumvent the law. Then, ang gagawin ko, patayin ko yung tubig. Sarado ko yung gripo, may tubo ka, pero walang lalabas na tubig. No, it's
Pag
not
hindi pa-
allowed in Manila anymore. And it's going to be a law. Thank you to Vice Mayor Hani Lacuna. Thank you to our councilors. No, because I asked them, you have to come up with a law. Now, matter of talkies lang tayo. Pero we'll find a way for you to stop. And I would like to
But
thank
you will close
Cotabanos.
down that mall.
Huh?
You will close down that mall.
Of course.
Okay.
They cannot
Okay.
do business without permit in
Okay,
Manila.
next subject because we need to move on. Mayor Lino, no, but I'm glad you made that point. Dapat talaga mag-implement kayo ng batas. Dapat lang. Mayor Lino, I wanted to ask, you will run for re-election, right?
Most likely.
Bakit may most likely ka?
Kahit ano pwede mangyari. So,
Okay.
Pero I would like to continue into a second term because
Okay.
I think napakaikli nung 3 taon na sa napakadami mong gusto
Too
gawin.
short ang 3 years, no? Or, when you say most likely, there is also the possibility you could trade places with Alan, who is Speaker of the House, your brother, Congressman, 1st District or 2nd District?
First District of
First,
Taguig,
and,
yeah.
or Lani Cayetano, your sister-in-law, she's here. But speaking of siblings, we come to this inevitable question, but please lang, if you don't mind, short,
Okay lang.
short answer.
May kapatid ka rin naman. May kapatid din ako.
Oh, pero wala ako sa politika.
Pero politika ang pinag-uusapan mo.
Politics as usual. Okay, we come to that inevitable question about dynasties. Although there is no law banning it yet, how does your family feel about being branded as one?
Ako may kanya-kanya kaming opinion, may kanya kaming trabaho. For me, it just so happens that I am a Cayetano, but I was elected on the basis of the performance of the previous mayor who was my party mate and also my performance as a former congressman. So sa akin, I embrace being a part of a family that has been serving for a long time. Malinis yung pangalan ng Cayetano. They've performed well in various positions in government. So ako, I embrace being in a family that have served the Filipino people.
And of course, you are proud of being a Cayetano. Your father is a very well-known, very respected, the late Senator Rene Compañero Cayetano. And I'm sure you think of him every time you serve, no?
And I think the media has a way siguro of siguro categorizing or lumping certain political families together. But if you get to know Pia and you've interviewed my sister Pia,
Yes.
if you get
And I
to
know
know
them all. I've
Alan,
interviewed
and
them all.
ako hindi
Yes.
pa tayo masyado nag-uusap, but if you get to know me, we are all very different. Alam nung constituents namin yan. Kilala
Oo.
kami bawat
and as
isa.
long, and as long as you deliver, that's the most important thing. No? And Francis, since you've said your father's retiring at the end of his term as congressman, the question, sana, is, how do you and he feel about this ban on dynasties? But I wanted to go straight to you and Isko because the two of you, although Mayor Isko, wala ka namang dynasty, no, showbiz lang. Pero kayong dalawa ni Francis, kasi you slayed the dynasty of the Ejercito Estradas. In one sentence ha. Yorme, one sentence lang ha. Hirap. Makwento ka kasi masyado eh. Kasi dapat one sentence si Mayor Francis. In one sentence, how did you defeat the Ejercito Estrada dynasty?
Ipinakita ko sa San Juan kung ano magagawa ng Zamora na hindi kaya ng Estrada. Kaya ako nanalo.
Okay, thank you for that brief reply. Yorme, brief reply.
Well, gusto ko naman maiba naman ng Maynila.
Okay. My second to the last question. If there was something you had to do that you know will cost you votes if or when you run for re-election, because Mayor Francis, you said that you want to run for a second term. Mayor Isko, we are presuming you will run for a second term. Would you still do it if you know na it will cost you the votes? Yes or no lang ang sagot, Mayor Francis?
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Lino?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor
Yes.
Isko. Galing. Sound bite of the night. Galing talaga ng mga mayor na to. My goodness. Okay.
Nandiyan naman lahat ng vice mayor namin eh. Nandiyan. Kakampi naman namin lahat.
Okay. Isko, Mayor Isko, ang dami mong fans left and right, dami mong invitation, di ba? You're so popular. I wonder why. Baka kilala ka, no? Bago ka nagpolitika or something. But are you for real? I mean, totoo, di ba? You say yes. Yung sagot mo yes. Oo.
Basta ang tanso, tubugin man ng ginto, tanso pa rin. Kaya
Okay.
mahirap magkubli. Kaya makita nyo na lang akong inis, pag inis ako, makita nyo kung nagpapakababang loob, pag nakikiusap ako, makita ninyong nahigpit ako kasi kailangan ko maghigpit. Makita nyo
Okay
kung
lang yan,
magmalasakit,
okay lang yan.
basta kailangan magmalasakit. Kumbaga, just trying to be me.
Okay.
Yun lang.
Okay. Pero maganda yan, yung maghigpit. Tama lang yan. Very good. Okay. Mayor Francis, meron kang wooden covered basketball court sa isang barangay mo, no? Yung sa Santa Lucia, no? Teka muna, mag-extra na raw. Pero importante itong tanong na to. Ang tanong because ikaw, isang former LaSalle Green Archer ka, na may championship ka, can the LaSalle Green Archers enter the Final Four of the UAAP men's basketball? Pasensya na kasi LaSalle ka, naka-blue ako.
Siyempre, umasa ako
Yes
na...
or no lang?
Yes, we will enter the Final Four.
Okay. We need to ask direct Lino. Mayor Lino from UP. Papasok ka sa
Pwede sa LaSalle at sa Ateneo na ang basketball at volleyball. Ang academics sa UP palagi.
Wag ko kayo mag-alala.
mag-re-elect natin isa.
Hindi nila ako kaaway. Ateneo, Lasal, UP, Tondo High School.
Okay. Pinapa-extra na ako. Siguro hindi okay na yung mga final words nyo. Yun na yun. Okay na yun. Thank you so much. Maraming salamat to Super Mayor. Mayor Francis Zamora, thank you. Mayor Lino Cayetano, thank you. And Mayor Isko Moreno, Yorme, thank you very much. Salamat po sa mga pumunta dito ngayong araw na to. Thank you, SM Aura. This has been a Politics as Usual special edition of the first 100 days of these three gentlemen mayors. I'm Pio Ontiveros. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.